Already this season, Brandon Manns and Rick Miller have won Top Dog Challenge events. Manns is quickly shuffled from the front row back to fourth. Gary Wiltrout, the 2001 NASCAR late model champion at the Speedway, out in front. Just another opportunity to let the Motordrome Speedway fans see our top division race cars out on the Speedway in this 4-lap Top Dog Dash for Cash. Gary Wiltrout over Rick Miller and Bobby Henry. Gary Wiltrout, a longtime veteran in his first season driving for the Bob Bentz Motorsports team. The Lint Flooring number 60 out in front of Rick Miller's Bellevue chassis. Brooks Automotive number 25. White flag waving. We could have a battle to the checkers. Working the final lap of the Davies Ford Night Top Dog Challenge. Rick Miller will look to the outside in turn 3. Closing down on Wiltrout with Bobby Henry to his inside. 3 cars making their way to the finish, and Gary Wiltrout wins the Top Dog Challenge.
Hi, I'm Jim Davies, and if your vehicle doesn't have our plate on it, you probably paid too much.
The buying power of 2 locations, $10 million in inventory, and impeccable service after the sale. That's why you'll see them everywhere. Plates from Davies Ford, the #1 volume Ford dealer in the area. Davies Ford, where complete satisfaction is knowing you paid less and got treated better.
And remember, if your vehicle doesn't have our plate on it, you've probably paid too much.
Davies Ford, Route 119 Connellsville and Route 88 Charleroi.
Steve Black in that car-bodied #1 machine. That will eventually be converted to a truck. As they're 3 wide for the lead, Dave Merrow has problems. And his problem is that the start was waved off. That is a false start, as we're going to try it one more time. This heat race again, 8 laps in distance. The preliminary event to tonight's 20-lap feature for the Davies Ford Pro Trucks. Ken Grimm in the Froggy 98, Dave Merrow in the 69, again not coming up to speed. And we'll throw the caution flag one more time. Pole sitter is Dave Merrow after Ken Grimm jumps the 2 initial starts. Division points leader in 2001 Davies Ford Pro Truck champion. On the point for this one with Dan Lewis in the 02 and Bob Kossel in the 50. All 3 of those truckers have won features already in 2005. The #1 of Steve Black from Greensburg, the automobile joining this battle. As we mentioned, Dave Merrow's track championship in 2001. Worth mentioning that Bob Kossel, who's challenging for the lead, is a 2-time Motordrome champion all the way back in 1990 and 91 in the Pro Stock division. Merrow leads by less than half a car length at the scoring line on lap #2. Dave Merrow from Wall, Pennsylvania to the outside. Bob Kossel from Connellsville to the inside. Dan Lewis in the 02 riding in third, and here comes a serious lead challenge with Kossel on the low side. Working lap #3 of 8, a new leader is Bob Sprout Kossel from Connellsville. He is immediately checking out with a 4 or 5 car length advantage over Dave Merrow in the 69, who now has to contend with the 02 of Dan Lewis from Monongahela. Side by side in the battle for second. Steve Black in the 1 car, making a bid for 3rd spot with Dave Merrow now as well. Bob Kossel and Dan Lewis now 1st and 2nd. Steve Black taking over the 3rd position from Merrow. Merrow got the pole position by virtue of Ken Grimm jumping 2 restarts, but could not work it to his advantage as the 69 truck has fallen back to 4th. Bob Sprout Kossel, driving a truck which took his son to victory twice in 2004, has already scored 2 victories in this early season 2005. His son, meanwhile, has graduated to the late model division as a rookie with the Bellevue chassis team. Steve Black in that automobile-bodied machine is challenging Dan Lewis for 2nd. White flag is in the air for Kossel. Bob Kossel already has 3 heat race victories in the Davies Ford Pro Truck division this year. Headed for his 4th, but look at Steve Black challenging to the inside. Oh, they make hard contact. Lewis is backing into the wall hard in the 0-2. Yellow book caution flag on the final lap as hard contact was made between Steve Black and car number 1 and the 0-2 truck of Dan Lewis, which has been fast all year as he proved winning a feature earlier this season. Heavy damage to the 0-2 truck in turn 3. He is climbing out and walking over top of the wreckage in order to get out of that machine with serious damage to the back end of the 0-2 car. We see Dan Lewis from Monongahela walking down the speedway, and he may be seeking an opportunity to express his displeasure with Steve Black of Greensburg, and indeed he does that, asking why in a heat race would the hard contact be made before the money is on the line in tonight's Davies Ford Pro Truck feature. Steve Black is being sent to the pit area. The black flag is out over car number 1, which has also sustained body damage, but nothing like the severe damage that the 0-2 truck has no doubt sustained from backing hard into the wall. Dan Lewis has 1 heat race win and 1 feature win in 2005. In 2004, he went to victory twice and finished 6th in the final point standings for the Davies Ford Pro Trucks. Only 1 lap remains in this first preliminary heat race event for the Davies Ford Pro Trucks. Bob Sprout-Kossel out in front, Dave Merrow in second, Ken Grimm in third, Dwayne Noel in fourth as the green flag waves. Dave Merrow now able to mount a challenge after he fell back to fourth. That incident on the racetrack moved him up 2 spaces, and that will be important as he is the division points leader. Points are paid to Motordrome Speedway divisions in heat race action as the white flag for Kossel. Davies Ford Pro Truck Division will compete later tonight as the first feature in our lineup this evening. 20 laps will be the distance, and last week's winner, Bob Sprout-Kossel, gets his 4th heat race win of 2005 over Dave Merrow, Ken Grimm, and Dwayne Noel in truck number 22. And Dave McManus crossed up on the start, nearly makes contact with the 4 of Kiter. Vince Kiter in the 4 car, first time out, and we see Schlesinger's 66 stopped at the inside of the back straight, bringing out the yellow book caution flag. For no start, that was awfully exciting in the Subway Street Stock division. We get the green flag racing on the Subway Street Stock division. Rich Burbage out in front as Tavermina pulled to the pit area. More tough luck for the driver who's had heat race success, but tough luck in the features. Burbage hangs the back end out, sliding through turn 4 in the lead over Henry in the 64. Rich Burbage last season was very strong and has nothing but headaches to show for his 2005 racing season. Then it's Bill Henry in the 64 who finished 6th in the point standings last season. Joe Holp in the 78 is 3rd. Dave McManus in the 17 off to a better start in this second attempt at green flag racing. Burbage still your leader now, working lap 2 of 8. Bill Henry from Vandergrift in the 64 car challenging Burbage, both very close to the outside retaining wall down the back straight. Burbage all the way from Newcastle, Pennsylvania in car number 77 last year, finished 5th in the final point standings here in the Subway Street Stocks. Henry now moves to the bottom. Instead of following Burbage onto the back straight, he puts his car half a groove lower and tries to get the front fender underneath the left rear quarter of Burbage's 77 machine. Now Burbage drifting up in turn 4 again, sliding like a dirt car each lap through turn 4 is the leader. Halfway through this heat race, crossed flags indicate 4 laps down and 4 remaining for Rich Burbage, yet to win a heat or feature in 2005 after placing in the top 5 in the point standings last season. Burbage, Henry, then Joe Hope and Schlesinger, who's passed 3 cars in recovering from the caution flag incident. Cars separating themselves now. Rich Burbage with about half a car length of breathing room between himself and Henry in second. And again, we see that car sliding up about a groove and a half, but he's able to maintain enough momentum down the front straight to hold on to the lead on lap 6. In turn number 1, Henry each time close enough to nearly touch the back bumper of Burbage. And look at Schlesinger, still the man on the move. He's passed 3 cars and is challenging for third. Joe Hope in the 78 on the outside. Max Schlesinger in the 66 on the inside. White flag waves for Rich Burbage. Burbage, your leader. Bill Henry in second. Max Schlesinger third. Joe Hope in fourth. Final lap in Subway Street Stock preliminary heat race number 1 and the first checkered flag of 2005 for Newcastle's Rich Burbage. Bill Henry, Max Schlesinger, Joe Hope, and Dustin Blank in car number 94 completing the top 5. A couple of Ford products out there for our folks from Davies Ford Night to root on this evening. There's the green flag. Robin Rimmel in the Napa Auto Parts Ford number 22 has been very strong this season, but has yet to win a feature event. Although he won 5 times last season, he's side by side with the 5 car, defending champion Frank Turek. Battle for the lead in turn number 3, headed for turn 4, side by side with Jason Holder looking on from third. Turek and Rimmel, lap 1 goes to Frank Turek. Robin Rimmel skates up the banking a little bit and opens the door for Stoystown's Jason Holder to take over the second position. Frank Turek, the current points leader, out in front. Jason Holder second in points, second on the racetrack. Frank Turek has a 12-point margin in the current standings, 1-2-3 on the Speedway, are 1-2-3 as they are in the Subway Street Stock point standings coming into tonight's racing action. Jeff Petrini in 4th, Jonathan Heilman in 5th. Robin Rimmel trying to reclaim the second position. This time he holds the car all the way to the bottom, as slipping up high in turn 2 cost him the runner-up position. Holder no match for that challenge this time. Holder back to third, Rimmel back to second. Frank Turek checking out on the field. 4 laps down, 4 remaining in the final 8-lap preliminary heat race for the Subway Street Stocks. And Frank Turek, 1998 Subway Street Stock champion, 2004 Subway Street Stock champion, 8-time winner last season, running away from the field in car number 5. Best battle on the Speedway is for third, working lap number 5. Jason Holder and Jeff Petrini. Both of those drivers have 1 career victory in the Subway Street Stocks at Motordrome. Holder won his first Motordrome feature at the end of 2004. Petrini won on opening night here this season in car 33. Only 2 laps remaining, first and second place separating themselves from this 3-car battle for third. Jonathan Heilman, the Bell Vernon driver, makes it 3 Monte Carlos challenging for third position. Holder in the 74 from Stoystown, Petrini in the 33 from Greensburg. Side by side, nearly at the line on lap number 7. Frank Turek has seen the white flag and he has got this one all wrapped up. Petrini now slips back a couple car lengths. Top 3 cars now separated as they head for the checkered flag. Heat race win number 5 for car number 5. Mount Pleasant's Frank Turek gets the victory. Robin Rimmel back into second position. Jason Holder in third, Jeff Petrini fourth, Jonathan Heilman completing the top 5. Laps in this first preliminary Napa late model heat race on Davies Ford night. Brandon Mans quickly takes the lead from John Messenger and opens up a door for Rick Miller to challenge. Miller and now Paul Urso move past the 51 of Messenger as the lead battle develops. Last year, Brandon Mans was a late model rookie and teammate to Rick Miller. Rick Miller threatening on lap number 2 to be the leader, and he is. Current division points leader and 2-time and defending Napa NASCAR late model champion Rick Miller, the veteran from Dunbar, Pennsylvania, taking the lead from his teammate of a year ago, Brandon Mans. In third, it's last season's late model rookie of the year from Glenshaw, Paul Urso, leading Sean Pilla in the 5. Sean Pilla from Connellsville drives the beautiful blue number 5 machine, which sustained heavy damage in a NASCAR Weekly Racing Series accident about 3 weeks ago. He took a week off in order to repair that machine, and he's currently 4th behind Urso. Last week, West Virginia's John Messenger had his career best performances in the twin 50-lap features. Tonight, he slips from the front row all the way back to 5th in car number 51 in this first heat race. Crossed flags indicate 5 down, 5 to go in this first heat race for the Napa NASCAR late models. Rick Miller, so far in 2005, has 4 heat race victories and 3 feature wins. He is now running away from Brandon Mans in the 15. Brandon Mans, one of the drivers who graduated from the Davies Ford Pro Trucks into the late model division as a rookie last year, and now his entire team moving from the Pro Trucks to the late models as he is a sophomore pilot in the top division. Paul Urso in the Froggy 98.3 machine, feeling a challenge now from Sean Pilla. Pilla in car number 5, one of the best looking race cars each and every week here at Motordrome, attempting a low line pass in turn 4. He can't complete it this time as 2 laps remain. This time Sean Pilla is all the way up to the door of Paul Urso. Battle down the back straight is for 3rd. Sean Pilla in the 5, Paul Urso in the 98. White flag waving over Rick Miller on the final lap of this first heat race. Brandon Mans solidly in 2nd. And Sean Pilla trying to wrestle the 3rd spot away from Urso, makes a bobble in turn number 2 and opens the door for Pilla. Sean Pilla into the 3rd spot in this heat race after taking last week off, while the checkered flag waves a 5th heat race victory for Rick Miller. Brandon Mans in 2nd, Pilla in 3rd, Paul Urso in 4th, and late model rookie Chris Kossel completing the top 5 in that first preliminary heat race. 10 laps. The Napa NASCAR late model set to go with heat race number 2. First time out in 2005 for Venetia, Pennsylvania's Ben Miley in car 99. Former dirt track champion here at the Speedway, Mike Adams drives the 43 as Gary Wiltrout, the KG veteran, makes an early race pass for the lead on young Tony Mussolino. Last season, Gary Wiltrout, driving his own team, won 3 feature victories and finished 3rd in the point standings. He's out in front now, and Bobby Henry, his new teammate for 2005, takes away the 2nd spot from young Mussolino. Last season, Bobby Henry won 2 feature events. He's already equaled that total this season as he is riding 2nd on the racetrack. Mussolino 3rd, and a side-by-side battle for 4th in turn 3. 2 veterans, Ben Miley and John Komarinsky, very familiar with the Motordrome Speedway surface. Mike Adams from Elizabeth, Pennsylvania drives the 43. Miley completes the pass on Komarinsky for 4th. Ben Miley, who's been racing on the dirt track at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway this season, makes his first run on the pavement for 2005. Gary Wiltrout showed his hand early tonight, winning the 4-lap Top Dog Challenge Dash for Cash. And halfway through this second Napa NASCAR late model heat race, he is running away from his teammate, the driver of the Stone & Company Megan Ford number 11, Bobby Henry. Bobby Henry is second in the current late model point standings to Rick Miller, and right behind Henry in the standings is Gary Wiltrout, the man who is leading him on lap 7 of this heat race. Tony Musolino, third on the racetrack, is 6th in the current late model points battle here at the Speedway. 2 laps to go, the signal given to Somerset, Pennsylvania's Gary Wiltrout. Wiltrout already has 1 heat race victory this season. Looking to add a second one on the same night that he wins his first Top Dog Challenge as he sees the white flag. Bobby Henry will not be challenging for the lead, and it looks like Tony Musolino may have third all to himself over veteran Ben Miley. In turn number 3, the Benz Motorsports Lint Flooring Megan Ford number 60 of Gary Wiltrout takes the checkered flag. Bobby Henry in the second position, Tony Musolino in third, Ben Miley into 4th, and John Komarinsky completing the top 5. The 57 machine is driven by Tom Heilman. Then we find the 6 car of Tom Frank and the 7 machine of Ben Easler. 2 of the most potent modifieds so far in 2005. Adam Kostelnik and George P. Nicola, 1 and 2 in this one. Matt Panaya in car number 32 has been very strong the last 2 weeks. Matt Panaya, third on the racetrack, got his first heat race win of 2005 last week. He came on strong in the feature as well, and he is currently chasing last week's winner, George P. Nicola of Pittsburgh. Gary Scott in the 16 car. The Swissvale Music Machine challenging to the inside of Chris Dodds in the 47. That is the battle for 4th position. Gary Scott, opening night feature winner last season. Gary Scott won 5 times here at Motordrome en route to placing 3rd in the final standings. And working lap number 3, he will take over the 4th position in this first 8-lap preliminary heat race. Adam Kostelnik out in front, the Viglione Racing number 60, the defending champion. Kostelnik from East McKeesport, Pennsylvania, has 2 heat race victories already this season, and he's halfway to another one with 4 laps down and 4 completed. George P. Nicola feeling a challenge from Matt Panaya now. Car number 32, Plumberto resident Matt Panaya having his strongest performances in the last 3 weeks. Veteran modified driver challenging last week's winner, George P. Nicola. Two laps remaining, and each time in turn number 1, Matt Panaya is able to gain just a little bit on George P. Nicola in the 97, that battle for 2nd. These drivers several car lengths behind leader Adam Kostelnik. And Kostelnik, with Ben Easler's lapped machine in front of him, sees the white flag. Final lap, Kostelnik moves up and around the Easler machine. Nicola, Panaya, and Scott next to also clear Easler's slowing machine. into turns 3 and 4. For the third time in 2005, a modified heat race is won by Adam Kostelnik. George P. Nicola, Matt Penaya, Gary Scott, and Chris Dodds completing the top 5. Bo Glemba and Bob Shipp battling for the lead down the back straight. Bob Shipp from Elizabeth, Pennsylvania, a rookie to the division. He didn't purchase a modified until about 2 weeks before the season got started. Last year he was the Charger Division champion and continues to progress up the Motordrome Speedway ladder. Bo Glemba is the 99 car to his outside. Bo Glemba currently 6th in the point standings, Shipp 8th in the point standings. We have a caution flag. 94 of Civic was crossed up, although he continues on his way. We throw the yellow book caution flag. We'll line them up for a restart with 1 lap completed. Seven laps to go, and the battle is for 4th. Mike Bacalon diving to the inside of Harry Opfer. Opfer is 10th in the point standings right now, and Bacalon clears him into turn number 3 for the 4th position. Jim Nicola, the veteran in car number 5, looks to the outside of Shipp in the 04. Jim Nicola, the 2003 and 2001 modified champion. Side by side with Bacalon, who is raced up from deep in the field. Just a moment ago, it was Nicola challenging Shipp for 2nd. Now Nicola's about to lose 3rd to Bacalon. 3-car battle for 2nd position behind leader Bo Glemba. Halfway to the finish, 4 down, 4 remaining in the 2nd modified heat race on Davies Ford Night at the Races. Bo Glemba of Charleroi out in front. Bob Shipp, the modified rookie, holds off a pair of championship veterans. Mike Bacalon and Jim Nicola now looking to make it 3 wide down the front straight. Bacalon now has position in turn number 1 on the inside of Shipp. Mike Bacalon of North Versailles, Pennsylvania. 1 feature win last season, 1 feature win this season. He takes away the 2nd spot and brings Nicola into 3rd, both drivers passing the rookie. Bacalon, modified champion 2002. Into 2nd position, but may not have enough time to challenge Bo Glemba, as Glemba in car 99 sees the white flag. Bo Glemba seeks his first feature victory, and we believe this may be his very first heat race win if he can hang on to car 99 out of turn 4, Charleroi, Pennsylvania's. Bo Glemba sees his first checkered flag. Mike Bacalon into 2nd, Jim Nicola 3rd, Bob Shipp 4th, and Harry Opfer completing the top 5.
If you're looking for more in an auto parts store, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to make our stores better than the rest. Get ready for an auto parts store unlike anything you've experienced before. Get ready for a cleaner, brighter, better place to shop. Get ready for a store organized so you can easily find what you're looking for. Get ready for in-store innovations you won't find anywhere else. When you want more than just another auto parts store, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts.
We're ready in advance.
Jeff Giles, who's won 3 straight Charger features, is car number 50 to the inside of row number 2. Outside, I believe that is the 13 machine of Denny Keller. Inside of row 3, the 9 is Rick Broadwater. Outside, it's the 51 of Clifford Abbott. Then we see the 1 of Tracy Keller. Last week, a brand new car debuted by Tracy Keller in car number 1. Then it's the 95 of Jim Stokes, who came home second in last week's feature. Harold Hunt drives the 88, affectionately known as the Big Brown Car. 21 is Gary Ankrum. Completing lap number 1, your leader will be... Hey, you call it. That was a close one. The battle to the scoring line on lap 1 was won by Jeff Giles. 3 consecutive weeks he's been in victory lane at feature time, and he takes the lead on lap number 1 from Scott Margie in the 65. Margie from West Newton, Pennsylvania, leading Rick Broadwater, a pair of Chevrolet Malibus in second and third. Jeff Giles for 3 weeks has been in his own world fast after Tracy Keller won on opening night. Keller 6th on the Speedway in that brand new black number 1 car, closing down on Denny Keller in car number 13. Working lap number 3. Preliminary heat race, 6 laps for the Yellow Book Chargers, and there's a battle developing for second in turn number 3. Side-by-side, door-to-door action, Malibu to Malibu. Rick Broadwater of Level Green takes away the spot from Scott Margie, and coming along with him is car number 95 of Jim Stokes, who finished second last week. Stokes has that Monte Carlo flying. It was his first attempt of 2005, and he came home the runner-up. Not a bad opening night showing for him, as we're 4 weeks into the season, and he comes out with a second-place finish. White flag, no surprise, it's Jeff Giles, whose car is so fast it was torn down by technical inspectors last week and approved to be legal. He's got an entire straightaway lead over Broadwater and the 95 of Stokes. There's yet another checkered flag for Jeff Giles in car 50. Broadwater holds on to second over Stokes. Margie in fourth, and Tracy Keller completing the top 5. Three wide already in turn 1. Advance Auto Parts, American Flyer Division. Chuck Hall in car 67 nearly grabbed a victory a couple weeks back, but was defeated in the late stages by teenage rookie Richie Miller. Once again, the Mopar fans have something to cheer about, as Chuck Hall out in front of Oldham in the 5 and Minjock in the 34. Heat races 5 laps in distance for the Advance Auto Parts American Flyers. Feature race 8 laps in distance. Drivers competing for trophies only. Chuck Hall hoping to see his first trophy tonight, as he has been nothing but fast in his 3 weeks of competition, out in front on lap 2. Possibly another 3 wide battle to develop for second. Minjock, Deneen, and Oldham down the back straight, looking to make it 3 wide. Deneen threads the needle. 2 times a feature winner in 2005, it's American Flyer veteran Ed Deneen holding off Minjock and Oldham as he throws that car into turn 3 and does indeed complete the pass for second. Ed Deneen, 2 times a winner last season, comes to us from Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania, and that's 16 machine. Advance Auto Parts, American Flyer Division. White flag in heat race number 1. Chuck Hall with the Dodge Power out in front. Ed Deneen, who started 5th, now up to second and is noticeably closing, but will not have enough time as we are in the final lap. Here will be Ed Deneen's final challenge. He's going to go for it in turns 3 and 4. Too much distance to make up. And the checkered flag waves over Chuck Hall in car 67. Deneen in second. Battle for third is Minjock by inches over Oldham, and Andy Giles completing the top. That is defending champion Ken Dukic. The 22 machine is Gene Greco. Keep your eyes on the green 28 car, driven by Larry Vance. He has 2 heat race wins already this season. The 12 machine is Roger Bryan, and the 51 is Kevin Ludwig. 2 by 2, the battle for the lead. Miller and Dukic, 2 by 2, the battle for second. Vance and Greco. Heated action in the Advance Auto Parts American Flyers. Watch the brake lights illuminate in turn number 1, and Miller nearly loses the handle, overcorrects. Larry Vance patiently waits out the correction and takes the lead from the rookie. Richie Miller, at 17 years old, won his very first start in a race car here on opening night in that 87 machine. We have not seen the rookie make any kind of mistakes yet, but that bobble cost him the lead as veteran Larry Vance takes over the point position. Last year, Larry Vance won 5 Advance Auto Parts American Flyer features. He's been very strong this season. He finished second last week, but has yet to find victory lane in a feature after 2 heat race wins in 05. Gene Greco holds on to third, and then defending division champion Ken Dukic in the 95. Ken Dukic makes his debut in 2005 after he was the division champion last season. He earned the most points, but only won 1 feature. He's challenging Greco for third on the Speedway. Larry Vance, Richie Miller, seeing the white flag. Age and experience in Larry Vance over youth and enthusiasm in Richie Miller in second. Final lap down the back straight. Miller recovers from the bobble to look to make a high side challenge in turns 3 and 4. Now thinks better of it, tucks down to the inside. Vance drifts up a little bit, may have opened the door for the youngster. At the checkered flag by inches, it's Larry Vance. Richie Miller in second, Gene Greco in third, Ken Dukic in fourth, and the 12 of Roger Bryan from right here in Smithton, completing the top 5.
Hi, I'm Jim Davies, and if your vehicle doesn't have our plate on it, you probably paid too much.
The buying power of 2 locations, $10 million in inventory, and impeccable service after the sale. That's why you'll see them everywhere. Plates from Davies Ford, the #1 volume Ford dealer in the area. Davies Ford, where complete satisfaction is knowing you paid less and got treated better.
And remember, if your vehicle doesn't have our plate on it, you've probably paid too much.
Davies Ford, Route 119 Connellsville and Route 88 Charleroi.
Dan Lewis will be driving the Noel truck as the green flag waves. Understand that the distance of the race tonight, 15 laps for the Davies Ford Pro Truck Division, 15 laps. And once again, Dan Lewis, who backed hard into the outside retaining wall, takes over the Dwayne Noel truck number 22 in order to maintain his position in the point standings. His 02 truck badly damaged and loaded into the trailer tonight, so Dwayne Noel allowing his truck to be scored as 02. The points will be going to driver Dan Lewis behind the wheel as we see a challenge developing for the lead at the end of lap number 1. Dave Marrow in truck 69, the pole sitter, hangs on to the lead. Bob Sprout-Kossel in truck 50 wiggles the machine just a little bit in turn number 2 and allows Marrow to stay even with him. 2 former MOTORDROME champions. Marrow, 2001 truck champion. Kossel, a 2-time Pro Stock champion. And at the line, this time we have a new leader. It is Sprout-Kossel by barely inches, working lap number 3. This feature will go 15 laps, and the first 3 have been thrillers. Side by side for the lead, Marrow and Kossel. Kossel not able to complete the pass for the lead until now at lap 4. Finally gets the entire truck number 50 in front of Marrow in the 69. Dave Marrow leading the division point standings coming into tonight. Kossel 2 weeks ago had a mechanical failure that sidelined him from feature racing action. One-third of the way through the Davies Ford Pro Truck Special on Davies Ford Night at the Races. Bob Kossel leading Dave Marrow and Steve Black in truck number 1, all by himself in third. The lead battle heats up once again. Marrow switches to the low line and seems to have enough to reel in and challenge Bob Kossel at the end of the straightaways. Dave Marrow using a stock-framed truck with more horsepower. Bob Kossel using a late model chassis truck with a restrictor plate. as we have a spin down the back straight. Caution flag is out for Ken Grimm, who spins on the exit of turn number 2 on lap 6. The Froggy 98 truck of Ken Grimm, the driver from Masontown, Pennsylvania, spins all by himself at the exit of turn number 2 on the backstretch. 6 of 15 laps completed in the Davies Ford Pro Truck feature event. Kossel with 2 wins this season, Merrow with 1. Merrow won the feature on the second night of racing this season at Motordrome, and he's challenging to the inside. Here nearly dropped the 69 truck into the grass to try and make that pass in turn 2. Stays in the bottom line in turns 3 and 4, challenging Kossel. Side by side, Kossel still your leader on lap 7 of 15. Bob Sprout Kossel, a 2-time Motordrome Speedway champion. Those championships coming all the way back in 1990 and 91 in a division known as the Pro Stocks, or limited type late models. Kossel from a racing family. His father raced here. His son is a late model rookie here, who won 2 features in the truck that Bob is driving tonight a year ago. Bob Kossel not outrunning Dave Merrow by more than a couple of car lengths, working lap number 9. Dave Merrow says he likes to race long distances. He joined us on the Motordrome Live pre-race show tonight and said that long distance is his strength. As the race goes on, he feels that his truck gets faster. There are 5 laps remaining in this Davies Ford Pro Truck Special, and we are hitting the point of the race where Dave Merrow might be coming up to stride. He's haunting the back bumper of Bob Kossel. Steve Black all by himself in 3rd. Ken Grimm all by himself in 4th. The battle on the speedway is for the lead. Merrow each time in turns 1 and 2 able to pull up nearly to the door of Kossel's truck. Working lap number 12, Merrow able to just about touch the back bumper of Kossel's truck. Down the back straight, Merrow holds the inside line this time. He's up to the door and may have the lead taken back. He was the pole sitter. He's side by side for the lead. He can't get the pass done. Lap 13 of 15. And the back end slips out just a little bit from Dave Merrow. Still in the hunt for the win. Bob Kossel in truck number 50 from Connellsville. Kossel, who ended a retirement of sorts to come back and race this truck, sees the white flag. He's the division's only 2-time winner. Final lap of the Davies Ford Pro Truck Special event to kick off the feature racing action on Davies Night at the Races. Kossel with a 3-car length advantage on the final lap. Merrow, his last attempt at the lead. And it's a futile one as Bob Kossel wins his 3rd feature of the year. Outside, it's current points leader and defending champion Frank Turek in the 5, Vince Cater in the 4, Andrew Kostelnik in 57, Dave Tavermina, Subway Street Stock Challenge driver in the 25, 17 is Dave McManus, 6 is Al Minjock as we're off and racing 20 laps in the Subway Street Stocks. Jeff Petrini and Robin Rimmel side by side up front, 3 wide in the battle for 3rd. Schlesinger, Henry, and Holp, everybody hangs on to it through turns 3 and 4. On Davies Ford night in the Subway Street Stocks, it is Chevrolet versus Ford in the battle for the lead. Jeff Petrini, the Chevrolet Monte Carlo, number 33. Robin Rimmel in the Ford Thunderbird Napa Auto Parts machine on the outside. Working lap number 2. Remember, it's Dave Tavermina in the 25 car, the Subway Challenge driver, starting near the rear of the field tonight. Side by side up front, opening night feature winner Jeff Petrini. still leading at lap 3 by only inches over Robin Rimmel. Rimmel last season 5 times a winner in the Ford. He drove to second in the point standings and is the 2002 division champion, challenging Jeff Petrini, who got his first win at Motordrome this season. Rimmel, the new leader on lap 5. Robin Rimmel's Ford had only a bumper ahead of Jeff Petrini at the scoring line. That battle wages on. Meanwhile, Max Schlesinger, who spun, bringing out a caution in his heat race, has reeled in the lead battle in 3rd spot. Rimmel into the outside wall. Robin Rimmel's Ford made contact with the outside retaining wall on the front straight, battling for the lead, and allows Jeff Petrini to claim the top spot again on lap 5. Look at Schlesinger diving to the inside. Schlesinger from 3rd spot, challenging Rimmel for 2nd. Jeff Petrini now all by himself out front by 2 car lengths. Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania's Frank Turek started near the rear of this field and is already 4th. He joins in the battle for 2nd with the 66 of Schlesinger, the 22 of Rimmel. As the battle for 2nd position continues only a couple car lengths off the back bumper of your leader, Jeff Petrini, we could be seeing a 4-car battle for the lead. We're working lap number 7, and Frank Turek has passed no less than 10 cars in his march to the front. Schlesinger in the 66 car from Elizabeth to the inside of Robin Rimmel from White, Pennsylvania. Frank Turek is leading the division point standings coming into tonight. He was the champion last year, and he's got Schlesinger and Rimmel battling for 2nd just in front of him. Leader Jeff Petrini won on opening night and then crashed hard in practice in week number 2. He had to load up and was unable to compete in our 2nd week of NASCAR Weekly Racing Series competition, but he's out in front. Lap number 9, while the battle for 2nd continues with Schlesinger to the inside, Rimmel to the outside, and Turek looking on from 4th. 4 cars have checked out from 5th place running Jonathan Heilman. Crossed flags indicating halfway through the Subway Street Stock feature. 10 down, 10 to go. Anybody's race with 4 cars up in front. Robin Rimmel now shuffled back to 4th as Schlesinger and Turek complete their passes. Monte Carlos 1, 2, and 3. The Ford of Rimmel back to 4th, and Turek is already challenging for runner-up position. 2 times a feature winner, including last week, Frank Turek completes a pass of Schlesinger. It's lap 12, and Frank Turek has come from the rear to the front with Jeff Petrini, the only thing between himself and a 3rd victory in 2005. Meanwhile, Robin Rimmel finds new life. He's challenging for 3rd as Turek dives under the leader. Turek and Petrini nearly making contact in turn number 3, side by side, headed for the line. New leader, Frank Turek. Lap 13, and Jeff Petrini finally loses the lead. He's had pressure all race long, and only Frank Turek has been able to sneak a bumper past Jeff Petrini. Schlesinger now has the inside line on the 33. Max Schlesinger, his night got off to a horrible start. He spun in his heat race event, but he has taken over 2nd as Petrini makes a bobble. Rimmel gets under him for 3rd. Frank Turek with about 4 or 5 car lengths advantage over Schlesinger. Robin Rimmel was once as far back as 4th in this event. He took 3rd and is now challenging for 2nd. Turek and Rimmel may be the 2 most veteran drivers in the field. Rimmel 3rd in the track point standings. Turek leading the standings. Schlesinger in 2nd position separates the 2 on the speedway. Petrini now falling back in fourth. He will have nothing to say about the victory, it seems, in car 33. Subway Street Stock Challenge driver Dave Tavermina up to about 8th on the speedway after starting near the tail of the field. Andrew Kostelnik limps to the pit area with a flat tire in car number 57. There are 2 laps remaining, and the best battle on the speedway is for second. Max Schlesinger in the 66 has Robin Rimmel's Ford Thunderbird all over his back bumper. Frank Turek is out in front. White flag will wave over the defending champions, car number 5, and there's contact in the battle for second down the front straight. Schlesinger and Rimmel tangled up, fighting for the runner-up position. Robin Rimmel with a flat right front tire on the Thunderbird. Schlesinger facing the wrong direction after he spun in his heat race and was riding second on the speedway on lap 18. What a turn of events. Robin Rimmel, the veteran driver from White, Pennsylvania, suffers a flat tire and is now at a stop in turn number 1. Rimmel is third in the point standings coming into tonight's racing. Jonathan Heilman was 7th in the standings last season, and there's the green flag. He has Jeff Petrini in front of him in 33, Frank Turek in the 5, who gets a fantastic restart out in front. Last year, Petrini was 8th in the final point standings, and in 1996, he was the Pure Stock Division champion here at Motordrome. Best battle on the speedway, however, is for 4th as Dave Tavermina takes away a position from Dustin Blank, and the white flag is waving. Final lap for Frank Turek. From Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, a driver who has been chosen to win meatball subs in the past for the fans, tonight gets his 3rd feature victory over Jeff Petrini, Jonathan Heilman, tonight's Subway Challenge driver Dave Tavermina, and Dustin Blank completing the top 5.
Oh boy, I think we're about to hear some phones ringing.
No doubt, Dale. This is a radiator for a 1999 Chevrolet C2500 pickup. Item number PFR 192547.
This is a real thing of beauty, folks.
Amazing craftsmanship, Dale. And that thing holds a lot of coolant.
Okay, nobody panic. Everything's cool.
Yep, that's a Napa radiator. I'm sure it's fine.
Bobby Henry, a feature winner last week in car number 11, and the 1 of Steve Black taking the green flag. 40 laps of NASCAR late model racing action brought to you by Davies Ford tonight, and the rookie Chris Kossel jumps out to the lead. Bellevue Chassis team car to the current points leader. Rookie driver from Connellsville, after success in the Pro Trucks last season, he is selected to drive the Brooks Automotive Group team car, and he is leading his first laps in a late model. Second generation driver out in front of last year's late model Rookie of the Year, Paul Urso. Back to third, it's a battle with Sean Pilla in car 5, taking away the 3rd position from Mike Adams, a street stock graduate. Adams, with 3 years of late model experience under his belt, has John Komarinsky's Rolling Rock 33 behind him. Then it's Ben Miley in car 99, making his first start of the season with Gary Wiltrout outside in car 60. Turn number 4, side by side. Battle for 5th, John Komarinsky. Car number 33, Gary Wiltrout to the outside, and Ben Miley in 99. Look at Wiltrout, who has figured out the top line of the racetrack. He's moved up a groove and has taken away positions from Miley and Komarinsky. Wiltrout earlier tonight won his heat. Before that, he won the Top Dog Challenge. Both times that the Lint Flooring number 60 has been on the Speedway tonight, it has crossed the finish line first. He's now diving under Mike Adams for a 4th position on the Speedway. Will Trout has it. The Benz Motorsports number 60 of Gary Wiltrout has climbed through the field, and right behind him, Rick Miller, the 2-time and defending champion, will crack the top 5, passing Mike Adams down the back straight and bringing along with him Bobby Henry. 5th and 6th on the Speedway, Rick Miller and Bobby Henry, the drivers who were victorious in last week's twin 50-lap features, charging up through the field. Turn our attention now to the 2nd position. Paul Urso, last year's Rookie of the Year recipient in the late model division, has Sean Pilla right behind him. Sean Pilla from Connellsville in the 5-car crashed hard 2 weeks ago, sat out last week's twin 50s in order to make repairs to that number 5 machine. He is closed up to the back bumper of Urso, while Chris Kossel, the rookie, leads this field 7 laps in. Last season, Chris Kossel won 2 features in the Davies Ford Pro Truck division. His father now steers that truck and went to victory lane earlier tonight. The rookie leading Urso, Pilla, Wiltrout, and now Miller and Henry closing up to join the battle. Sean Pilla yet to win a feature, as well as Urso and Kossel, top 3 drivers on the racetrack, have never won in the Napa NASCAR late models. Gary Wiltrout, Rick Miller, and Bobby Henry behind them, the 3 leading winners from 2004. Paul Urso is holding on to 2nd, even though that car seems to be drifting up the banking about 1 lane each time through turn 1. Pilla has the inside open, a clean battle for 2nd position. 2 beautiful race cars slugging it out on lap 11 behind rookie Chris Kossel. Kossel with about a 6-car length advantage, and Pilla now breaks through to take over 2nd. Just as quickly, Gary Wiltrout dives to the inside of Urso, and he as well takes position. Urso could be sent to the tail of this lead line as feature winners are passing him in wholesale fashion. Wiltrout, 3 times a winner last year. Rick Miller, 8 times a winner last year. Bobby Henry, 2 times a winner already this season, have all challenged and cleared Paul Urso's Froggy 98 machine. Shuffling the top 5 as Wiltrout makes a bid for 2nd. It's lap 13, and Chris Kossel has led the entire distance as a rookie. Gary Wiltrout, the 2001 late model champion, pries away the 2nd position from Sean Pilla. Rick Miller, the next to do so. Miller in car 25, leading the division points this season. Bobby Henry 2nd in the division points, challenging for 4th, and on lap 14, he has taken that spot away from Sean Pilla. The rookie Chris Kossel now has champions and veterans pouring all over the Brooks Automotive 38. Gary Wiltrout from Somerset, Pennsylvania looks to the inside and is taking the lead and bringing Rick Miller right with him. In 1 lap, the smooth rookie Chris Kossel will go from the lead to 3rd position and quickly loses that. He's fallen back to 4th here on lap 15. A lesson for the rookie driver as 3 multi-feature winners have moved their way from the rear of the field out to the front. Gary Wiltrout in his first season of driving for the Benz Motorsports team in car number 60, leading Rick Miller in the Brooks Automotive Bellevue Chassis 25. Bobby Henry drives the Stone & Company Megan Ford number 11. It's his first year with that team, and he has 2 wins already. Working lap number 17. Wiltrout, Miller, and Henry, top 3 on the Speedway. Kossel back several car lengths in 4th with Sean Pilla and Paul Urso. Last week, Bobby Henry won the feature despite nursing a serious brake problem in car number 11, which kept him totally out of contention in the first of the twin 50s. But still, he found victory lane in the 2nd of the 50-lappers last week, once he figured out how to drive the car with virtually no braking power. Wiltrout leads Miller, Henry 3rd, Kossel 4th, Sean Pilla 5th. Lap 20 of 40, the crossed flags. We are halfway through Davies Davies Ford Night at the Races NASCAR late model feature with Gary Wiltrout, Rick Miller, and Bobby Henry pulling away from the 4th and 5th place cars of Chris Kossel and Sean Pilla. In 2004, Gary Wiltrout was 4th in the point standings. At the end of the season, he is currently 3rd in his new ride in the season-long standings as Bobby Henry loses ground in turn 4. The back end of car number 11 broke loose and wiggled in turn number 4, costing Bobby Henry several car lengths, while Sean Pilla retires from the top 5. Sean Pilla, still shown 5th on the scoreboard on lap 22, has pulled into the pit area, leaving a top 5 position for Paul Urso. The car seemed up to speed until the very last minute when he pulled into pit lane, and the Connellsville driver, having a problem in parking, he is done for the night as the hood is coming off the 5 car. Up front, Wiltrout, Miller, Henry, then Chris Kossel, and then Paul Urso, the top 5, working on lap 24. Closest 2 cars around the speedway are the ones up front. Leader Gary Wiltrout and second Rick Miller closing in on the back marker of Steve Black in car number 1. Both cars on lap 25 using the high line of the front straight. Back marker not a factor, but only 15 laps remaining. Wiltrout winless in feature racing in 2005. He has 2 heat race wins, one of those earlier tonight, and he won the Dash for Cash, the 4-lap Top Dog Challenge earlier tonight. Wiltrout could make it a hat trick, winning all 3 of the events in which he competed tonight. 2 preliminaries and the big NASCAR Weekly Racing Series late model feature on Davies Ford Night. Miller closing the gap just a little, working lap 27. Battle for the lead. Wiltrout 2001. Late model champion here at Motordrome. Rick Miller, 2003, 2004 champion and current points leader. The battle is up front. The Lint Flooring, Megan Ford Stone and Company number 60. The Brooks Automotive Group, Valvoline Bellevue Chassis number 25 in second. Both these drivers have checked out on Bobby Henry in 3rd spot, nearly a straightaway advantage in this lead battle till their next competitor. Best racing action is up front. Cars strung out all over the speedway on lap 29, except for the leaders. Inches apart are their bumpers in the corners. Gary Wiltrout, Rick Miller. Wiltrout has led laps in 3 different features this season, but yet to find victory lane. Miller, who had 2 dominating performances to start the season, is the only driver to visit victory lane besides Bobby Henry. On lap 30, Henry a distant 3rd over Chris Kossel 4th, and a battle for 5th has heated up. Down the back straight, Brandon Manns, the sophomore driver, takes the 5th position away from Paul Urso on lap 31. Gary Wiltrout now stretches out by a car length or more over Rick Miller in the battle for the lead. Wiltrout in 60, Miller in 25. 1st and 3rd in the point standings respectively, working lap 32. Wiltrout on lap 31 definitely increased his margin. We'll see if he can do it again on lap 32. John Komarinsky pulls the rolling truck 33 to the inside of the speedway. He will limp toward the pit area. Miller seemed to gain just a bit that time in turn 4. 7 laps remaining. Lapped cars should not be a factor in the outcome, as the leaders will have clear racetrack to battle to the finish. Komarinsky's machine barely limping toward the pit area, but Rick Miller again very strong in turns 3 and 4. Lap 34 and the battle for the lead has intensified. Miller tries to strike to the inside. Wiltrout moves down just enough to close the door on the 25 car. Perhaps the best late model feature of the season so far on Davies Ford Night. 5 laps remaining. Gary Wiltrout over Rick Miller, the lap car of Mike Adams. These 2 drivers will encounter before the finish. Adams all by himself and holding the bottom line about 12 car lengths in front of the leaders. Signal being given for Adams to hold that groove as Wiltrout gained tremendously that time. On lap 35, Wiltrout put about 3 or 4 more car lengths between himself and Rick Miller in second. Now approaching that lap machine in turns 3 and 4. The move over flag given to Mike Adams. He steers clear on the front straight, headed to the inside lane. Wiltrout has cleared him, and Miller will need to move up a lane in the corner on lap 37 to get around Adams' 43 machine. Gary Wiltrout in car 60, possibly headed for his first victory of the season. He sees the signal of 2 laps to go. Rick Miller, 2-time and defending late model champion, on his heels. Miller in the last 2 laps has closed the gap. We're on lap 38 into turns 3 and 4. The Brooks Automotive Group Valvoline 25 of Rick Miller will need to strike within the next 8 corners as the white flag is waving. Next 4 corners, we should say, on lap 39. Wiltrout always seems stronger out of turn 2. Miller holds the advantage to about 2 car lengths. The white flag is waving in turns 3 and 4. Last chance for the defending champion to strike. For the first time in 2005, the former late model champion Gary Wiltrout will drive to victory lane, sweeping all 3 of the events in which he competed tonight. Rick Miller comes home in the 2nd spot. Bobby Henry hangs on to 3rd. In 4th, rookie Chris Kossel holding off 5th place Brandon Manns. Scott takes off to an early advantage of about 4 car lengths. Mike Bacalon now moving underneath Harry Opfer, as well as Matt Penaya and Bo Glemba in the 99. Opfer already back to 5th from a front row start. He is 10th in the current point standings in the modified division. He's got Jim Nicola in the 5 to the inside of him. Opfer is quickly shuffled back in the 0-1, while Gary Scott, Mike Bacalon, Matt Penaya, Bo Glemba, won his heat race earlier tonight, and the 5 of Jim Nicola are the top 5. Gary Scott from Harrison City, Pennsylvania, has a feature win this season. He had 5 wins last year. The Swissvale Music 16 machine, one of the cars wrenched by longtime crew chief Peanuts Eustace. Peanuts, a late model competitor back in the 1960s at Heidelberg Raceway, who builds and maintains modifieds for several of the teams here on a weekly basis at Motordrome. Mike Bacalon in car number 98 got his first win of the season a couple of weeks ago. Bacalon is the 2002 champion of the modified division, with Matt Penaya in 3rd in car 32. Penaya got his first heat race win of the season last week. The Plumboro, Pennsylvania resident has been super strong in the past couple of weeks. He's 3rd on the racetrack. And look at the battle for 4th. Adam Kostelnik, George P. Nicola, and Jim Nicola. The 60 of Kostelnik sneaks through with the position. He is advancing through this field. He's up to 4th. And then it's the Nicola family battle. George P., a winner a week ago in the 97. Jim in the 5, a former division champion here at Motordrome. Action settles down just a bit now. Gary Scott in front of Mike Bacalon and Matt Penaya. 3 cars out by themselves at this time. The 60 is the current points leader of Kostelnik. We'll see if he can gain ground on the top 3. Gary Scott moves around the 7 of Ben Easler up front. We're working lap number 7 of 20 in the Smale Pontiac GMC modified feature. around the racetrack. Some of the cars not able to come up to full song tonight. One of them, Ben Easler in the 7, is pulling into the pit area. The leaders have also moved around the Heilman number 57 car, also not up to full power tonight. With only 10 of 20 laps completed, Gary Scott has already lapped about 5 of these slower automobiles. Nevertheless, he continues to extend his margin over Mike Bacalon. All season, the modified division has put on tremendous battles. This one, the top 4 cars strung out just a bit, but within a lap, Gary Scott will be facing more lap traffic. The 6 of Tom Frank and the 9 of Rick Huffman are looming in front of the leader. Those 2 cars were briefly side by side, battling for positions at the back of the field. Here comes Gary Scott into turn 3. The ideal situation is for him to pass these cars on a straightaway, which he does on the front straight to complete lap 12. Now out in front of the leader, it's the 4 of George Thomas from Pittsburgh that will go a lap down. Bacalon about 14, maybe 10 car lengths, say, behind the leader. Both of these drivers already feature winners in 2005. Matt Penaya seeking his first win in the 32 car. Had to go 3 wide on the front straight to avoid the lapped cars, did Mike Bacalon. Now Kostelnik nearly forced to go 3 wide. Kostelnik is 4th, but closing quickly on Penaya. The Viglione Racing number 60. Driven by defending modified champion Adam Kostelnik, started deep in this field and is closing in to battle for 3rd with Matt Penaya here on lap 14. Gary Scott drove to victory lane in feature number 1 on opening night in the modified division. He has not won a heat or a feature since, but tonight he is extending his margin of lead over Mike Bacalon on lap 15. Gary Scott looks untouchable with 5 to go. Bacalon all by himself and securely in the 2nd spot. We'll turn our attention to the battle for 3rd, heating up by the 2nd, as Matt Penaya, who's been comfortable in that spot for several laps, feels the pressure of the division points leader Adam Kostelnik. East McKeesport, Pennsylvania driver in 4th, challenging Matt Penaya of Plumboro for 3rd. As they head into turns 3 and 4, it'll be the Tom Heilman number 57 car that they clear on the front straight this lap. It's lap 17, both cars forced up high in turn 1 to move around Heilman. Penaya and Kostelnik, in fact, may now be closing in on Bacalon, although it's possibly too late in the event for them to challenge for 2nd. Gary Scott sees the signal of 2 laps to go. He has no challengers in this win. If Scott doesn't make a mistake, he's got his 2nd win of the year. No repeat winners in the modified division in 2005, but the white flag is waving over Gary Scott, who saw victory lane on opening night. Bacalon in 2nd. It looks like Penaya is going to hold off the defending champion for 3rd as they head down the back straight. He's got the help of a lapped car to set a pick for him. Meanwhile, on the front straight, checkered flag is waving for Gary Scott in car 16. Mike Bacalon in 2nd. Penaya hangs on to 3rd. Kostelnik in 4th. George P. Nicola, last week's winner, completing the top 5. Outside of him, 3 times a consecutive feature winner, Jeff Giles, and Gary Ankrum in car 24. 15-lap Charger feature underway, 3 wide at the back of the pack, nearly 4 wide. 95 car driven by Jim Stokes of West Newton out in front of this field. He finished 2nd last week after leading much of the distance in his first run of 2005, and we're 3 wide at the back of the field again. The 2 feature winners so far in the season, Tracy Keller in the 1 and Jeff Giles in the 50, sandwiching Rick Broadwater's number 9 in between them. They're about to do the same to Scott Margie's 65. Jeff Giles, who's been so fast for 3 weeks, the NASCAR inspectors subjected him to its inspection last week and tore down every piece of that car to determine it is legal for competition. And Tracy Keller, the only man all season who has beaten him, has that brand new #1 car down to the inside. It was a maiden voyage for that new machine last week for Keller, and he was leading when contact took him out of the top spot. Tracy Keller in the 1 to the outside of Denny Keller in the 13 with Jeff Giles directly behind them. Giles started just about last in this field. He's climbed into 6th. Meanwhile, his nemesis from last week is out in front all by himself. It's Jim Stokes in the 95. Now Tracy Keller dives under Denny Keller. We're watching the battle for 4th now as Denny Keller falls back to the 50 of Jeff Giles as well. Giles in the 50 car received front-end damage in a heat race collision about 2 weeks ago and still went on to win the feature. And now he looks to the outside of Tracy Keller. Tracy Keller in car #1 drove to victory on opening night after serious neck injuries from a highway accident sidelined his racing career in the later half of 2004. The 32 of Dan Jordan from Connellsville is the driver in 3rd position, and he's got 2 heavy hitters breathing right down his neck on lap 5. Giles to the outside, completes the pass and moves into 3rd. Keller now switches from the low line to the top as they battle with Jordan. Yellow Book Charger division completing lap number 6 of 15. Battle develops for 2nd, the 51 of Clifford Abbott from Perryopolis, the next victim of Jeff Giles in the 50 car. Tracy Keller, meanwhile, back in the 4th position, side by side, battling with Dan Jordan. Best battle on the Speedway is for 4th. Dan Jordan of Connellsville, Tracy Keller of Mount Pleasant. Keller has 2 heat race wins to complement that feature victory, and they are in a heated battle for 4th directly behind Clifford Abbott. Keller takes the spot away at the scoring line on lap number 8. Jordan is relegated back to the 5th position. Taking a look up front, Jim Stokes, who led many laps last week and the first time out for car 95 this season, had Jeff Giles snatch the victory away in the late stages of the event. Giles, just like in this feature, started near the rear of the field and passed about every car on the track to earn the victory. He's going to need to gain about 8 to 10 car lengths at this point with 5 laps to go if he can make it a 4-peat. Jim Stokes in the 95, Jeff Giles in the 50. 2 cars broken away from the rest of the field while Clifford Abbott hangs on to 3rd over Tracy Keller. And as we say that, Abbott nearly spins down the front straight. Out of turn 4, the back end of the 51 car broke loose, and that was all that Tracy Keller needed to complete the pass for 3rd on lap 11. Jim Stokes started up front tonight. Jeff Giles started at the rear of the field. Giles has 3 straight victories. His only career wins have been the last 3 consecutive weeks. He's a 3-year veteran in the Yellow Book Chargers and kicked the door down to victory lane and has been undefeated since his first ever triumph. Jim Stokes in the 95 last season placed 9th in the final point standings, and he will see the signal for 2 laps to go. Jim Stokes in the 95 and a fast closing Jeff Giles in the 50. The middle stage of the race, that lead didn't seem to be diminishing much, but as the white flag waves, Stokes only has about 3 or 4 car lengths now. Jeff Giles and a streak of dominating victories. Looks like it's about to come to an end. He will throw the 50 car in full speed to turn 3 on the high side. It will not be enough. The winner of the Yellow Book Charger feature on Davies Ford night is Jim Stokes in car 95 from West Newton. Giles hangs on for second, Tracy Keller third, Clifford Abbott fourth, and Rick Broadwater complete the top 5.
Advance Auto Parts, no matter when or where. Advance Auto Parts, whatever's waiting there. Around these parts, trouble doesn't stand a chance. For the best parts, people and prices, we're ready in advance. Bring it on. For the best parts, people and prices, we're ready in advance.
Green flag and we're racing. Richie Miller in the 87, 2 feature wins. Ed Deneen in the 16, 2 feature wins. Everybody else has been shut out, but Larry Vance has been strong all season. Larry Vance won his heat and he's out to the early lead while Ed Deneen gets shuffled back to the tail of the field as a result of contact on the way out of turn number 2. Entry level, street car racing, safety modifications, roll bars, fuel cell. Otherwise, you take the glass out of your 4-cylinder front-wheel drive street car and you go racing with some help from the folks at Advance Auto Parts. Challenge is for third on the racetrack. Rookie sensation Richie Miller in the 87 to the outside of the 5 of Bill Oldham. Oldham had 2 wins last season and was second in the championship standings. They are neck and neck at the line. Third spot on lap number 2 belongs to Oldham, who has to get hard on the binders. He loses third and fourth in turns 1 and 2 and nearly carried Richie Miller up the banking with him. The 5 of Oldham either had a brake problem or got too hard on the brake pedal and pushed the car upward. That allowed Minjock in car 34 to move up to third. We're working lap number 3 of the 8-lap feature for the Advance Auto Parts American Flyers. Aaron Minjock has climbed into third spot, but just as quickly is being challenged by Richie Miller. Up front, Larry Vance in the lead, Chuck Hall in second. Miller completes the pass on Minjock for third. Oldham still hanging on to a top 5 spot. Larry Vance in car 28. Ford product here on Davies Ford night at the races in the final feature of the night. Looking to put Ford in victory lane. He has been so strong this season. Twice a heat race winner, 3 times actually a heat race winner, as he got one tonight from Murraysville, Pennsylvania, is the driver of car number 28. And he's got Chuck Hall flying the Mopar colors in second. 5 of 8 laps completed. Richie Miller now a distant third. Minjock gets off the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. He stacks him up in the battle for fourth, which has seriously taken on some new life. Ed Deneen, who got shuffled back on lap number 1, is making hard contact in turn 3 with Minjock. Everybody holds the cars pointed in the right direction. Deneen had stormed up through this field to fight for a top 5 position, and Minjock wouldn't have it. Aaron Minjock in 34 holds on to the 4th position. Richie Miller is third. Chuck Hall is second, and Larry Vance has about a 3-car length advantage, and this time by, he will see the white flag. 1 to go. Larry Vance in car number 28 had 5 victories last season. He finished 4th in the final point standings, and after winning his heat race earlier tonight, sees the checkered flag for the first time in 2005. Larry Vance winning the Advance Auto American Flyer feature over Chuck Hall, Richie Miller, Aaron Minjock, and Ed Deneen up to 5th from the rear of the pack.